How threats are detected and monitored in SAP systems. Um, Obviously, the availability of tools, there are tools available to help you do this. The largest respondent group is still using manual audits and periodic SAP security assessments, which is kind of a problem, right? Because if you're relying on manual audits to detect threats, you're not necessarily going to find out if your system has been, even in a best case scenario, if there's been a problem in your system until you conduct that next manual audit or security assessment. Um, People are using 63% of people are using Solution Manager or Focused Run or Cloud ALM. Obviously, Solution Manager is end of lifing at the end of 2027. Um, like many SAP applications. And that will people will need to move from that to something like Focused Run or something like Cloud ALM. Um, Another 48% of respondents say they're using some sort of third-party security tool. Um, on apps as Pathlock, ERP Scan. There's a number of different vendors out there that have third-party SAP security tools. Um, Many people integrate their SAP logs into their SIEM systems. This can be a bit of a challenge because, the SAP security log can be difficult to analyze. So, I mean, there are vendors that specialize in doing that, and they can perhaps, give you a greater insight into, what's happening. Um, Extended detection response, cloud native security monitoring, right, which is fine if you have, SAP systems up in the cloud. Relatively small proportion are using SAP Enterprise Threat Detection. Um, I think to a certain extent that's because um, it's a bit more complex of a tool. And might require a little more administrative overhead, although it obviously works very well to detect threats across your SAP systems. But I mean, I think um, with the coming end of mainstream maintenance for SAP Solution Manager, people will need to determine how they can, change moving forward. And I think there also has to be a focus to move away from manual audits and periodic assessments, because that really can't be the primary way in which you're detecting and monitoring threats in your SAP environments.